Hey guys, in this video I'm going to go over what is a pivot table, why you need to create a pivot table for search term analysis, and finally I'm going to take you over a step-by-step guide on how to create this pivot table. First, let's look at search term report. This is a search term report. Just for your information, what I did, I changed all the search terms, targets, campaign name, and ad group name, not to reveal them, I changed them. But when you see the search term one, all of these are really one search term, because what I did, I found the unique ones and replaced them with a number here. So I'm not revealing any search term or information about the account. So that is that. But here's the reason, actually, that's a good one. There is the same search term one being triggered from different campaigns, right? All of them have different performance. So this is not for the purpose of optimization, but when you want to find good performing terms, bad performing terms, if you want to target a term individually, you need to see how that term is performing as a whole. You can't decide based on one term being triggered in one campaign and decide if it's a good term or if it's a bad term, right? We are doing search term analysis to find the potential targeting terms or to find the potential terms that are not performing. That is why you need to aggregate all the data and to see what are you doing for the search term one across all the campaigns, not just for campaigns. Someone on LinkedIn, they mentioned that, no, this is wrong for optimization. We are not doing optimization, right? I'm not saying you look at this and go do optimization. Yes, search term one might perform somewhere good under broad, somewhere bad as an exact. I'm not saying you have to go and optimize based on this. This is just to find how your terms as a whole are performing. And if you are not targeting them, then you have to go and target that term if it's performing good. So that's the first point. The second point is that this is search term impression report, right? Between search term impression report and search term report are exactly the same thing. The only difference is that search term impression report has two columns for the rank and search term share. I want to add them to my pivot table and explain you how we work with that. That's why I got them here. Otherwise, search term report is the same. And here is what we are going to create. We are going to create this pivot table. As you see for search term one, now we have one row showing the total impression, clicks, spend, total sales, total orders. Actually, this is a number. Not, okay. And let's do this. Perfect. Then CTR, CVR, CPC, we will calculate that. There are tricks on calculating this. It's not simply adding to the pivot table. And these ones are pretty cool. I usually add to my pivot table. And the interesting part is that we can easily calculate what percentage of our spend for search term one, what percentage is compared to the whole account in this pivot table. Look at here, around 32% of my spend goes toward search term one. Around 22% of my total sales in this table is being created through search term one. It shows me how important that term is. And you can easily, without any function, you can easily create this with pivot table. Finally, I have added search term impression, share, and rank as well. I don't want to go more to the detail, but easily you can add one column here, exact, phrase, and broad. Then you can define if you are targeting this term in exact, in phrase, or broad. So if you are targeting in exact, it means you are targeting, right? You don't need to look at this to see if you want to target or not. The reason I couldn't create this, because what I did was that I have changed search terms here, the naming, and I couldn't kind of map it with my targets to see if they are similar or not, right? Because for instance here, this search term one is exactly the same target here, but since I changed the customer search term, I couldn't map it. I don't want to go into the detail. In the future, I will create a template to easily create this with all the detail and send it to you. But let's start creating this pivot table. Insert, you go to insert from here and to the pivot table. By the way, as you see, I have imported the CSV file for search term impression report to Google Sheet. The reason I work with Google Sheet is that first, I love it. The second is some people might not have access to Excel, but Google Sheet is free. Everyone has access. The first step, make sure this table, this data range covers the whole table. As you see here, by default, Google Sheet can define that. But in case if it is not, you can easily click there and choose the whole table as I did here. Then asking if you want to insert to new sheet or existing sheet. Of course, I want to go to new sheet. Okay, from here now we need to drag and drop some of these terms, and then we will see wait, because I'm going to go over a few things that you need to make sure, otherwise to follow, otherwise you might make a mistake. So I want my rows to be all the search terms. As you see, easily they are being added. Then as values, I want to see the impression. So drag it to the value. Let's go by order. After impression, we have clicks. Then we have the total orders, which is here. So now pivot table easily is giving me the sum of the impression here for ASIN1, not just from one result. We have one row for ASIN1, everything is summed up here. Then what else? Let's go over spend. Next would be the total sales. Okay. So here it is. Let me do some, actually here, clean up. And usually I do this wrapped. So it comes here. And what I do, I remove this sum of that pivot table adds from the title. It is easier to read without extra text. Okay, now we have that. Next, I want to add the search impression share. Well, actually before that, let's do something else. Let's add, I'm going to remove this. Let's add the percentage of spend. Seems like I removed the total sales. Okay, so as you see, the column moved easily. You can drag and bring it up here. Sometimes it can be really, come on, there you go. So we have our spend and sales. Now I want to add another spend and explain you what I want to do. I want to see what percentage of the spend from ASIN1, what is the percentage compared to my overall spend, right? Before doing that, I want to sort this based on impression. The way you could sort pivot table is go all the way to the rows and say based on impression, sort descending. Now let's see what happens. Okay, great. It is sorted and search term 1 has the highest impression. I added another spend here, but here is the great thing. I can tell, show me as a percentage of the column, right? Instead of that default, we go the percentage of a column. Look at what happened. Pivot table calculates what is your percentage of spend here compared to whole account, right? And the whole account is, I guess it should be here. Yeah, this is your total spend. So it shows the percentage of that spend for term compared to whole account. Let's do the same thing for the sales. Isn't it great that easily you can create that in a matter of few seconds? So sum, and there you go. Look at this term, like 31, 22%. These are, you can easily find your most important and most important keyword. What you could do also, you can say, actually, no, you can't. Seems like you can't. Yeah, I'm going to go with sales actually here. Say, just sort this based on the sales, whatever is generating the highest sales. Then let's calculate the, impression rank. I'm going to add impression rank. But there is a point here. So search term 1, look at what impression rank. We know impression rank is unique, right? For the search term 1, our impression rank in account level is 5. But what pivot table at the moment is doing, it is summing up. Look at this here. We are telling them for every row that you have searched in one, sum all the values, but we don't want that. We could say, just give me maximum, average, or minimum. It doesn't matter. The reason doesn't matter because their number is similar, right? Max, minimum, average will be 5. So I put max, there you go, you have 5. Now let's do the same thing for impression share. I'm going to choose this time average just to show you that there is no difference. So look at here, 5.43 and of course 5.43. Okay, that's it. Now, how about our CTR? So I know the CTR are going to be wrong because it is summing up all the CTRs for the search term one, right? But can I fix them from here? No, I can't, because this is not average, max, or minimum. We know that CTR is exactly number of clicks, which it's not here. I'm going to add. So let's add clicks. Okay, where I want to add it after the impression. Doesn't matter where you are adding it. I just want to be in order so I understand what's happening. Our CTR is clicks divided by impression. I'm going to create a value here, a custom field. So I would say custom field equals to, what is CTR? Clicks divided by impressions. You have to understand that whatever you are putting here should be exactly the header that you see. So for clicks, we have S. For impressions, we have S. The capital, everything is important. And as you can see, it is here. And I'm going to change the format to percentage. There you go. We have our CTR here. I click there and change. But look at how different it is. And I'm going to show you, let's go with average. I just want to show you, whatever you do, you are not going to see the same number because it can be the same, right? Even median, which doesn't make sense. I'm going to remove that. We need to create a calculated field here. That is percentage. Then next is after CTR, I want to create the CVR. What is CVR? The total number of orders divided by clicks. So I need to find the header for total number of orders. What I would do, I'll come here. This is it. I'm going to copy the whole thing. Keep that in mind. And here, I'll paste this. But since this is not one word. See, clicks and impressions, they are one word. Pivot table can understand it. But here, since there is a space, I need to put this. It's not quotation mark, just one. I don't know what, honestly, I don't know what we call that. Just put around this to show to pivot table that this is one number, right? As you see, the number is shown up. But what we want is that divided by what? Number of clicks, right? Now, what's going to happen? Pivot table will calculate the number of orders here, 955, divided by number of clicks, and you get exactly your exact CVR here. Then let's add a CPC and then finally spend ACOS. CPC is spend divided by clicks. You don't need to put any quotation mark because they are one word, one phrase. So we have CPC, and finally we calculate our ACOS. And our ACOS is total sales divided by spend divided by total sales, which for total sales, here it is. I'll copy that. Okay, spend divided by, I add the quotation mark here, and look at here, there is one space and after sales. You have to even put this. If I remove this space, it's not going to calculate because it is different from what the header is. You have to make sure it is exactly what is in the header. That's why I kind of copy from there right away. Perfect. And this is percentage. Now you calculated everything that you need. I don't know why I love to make this always black. And also I freeze this for first row so easily you can see what's happening. This is the search terms for the whole account. Now you want to start doing your search term report analysis. What you need to do is go to the filter, to the campaign name. I personally, for my campaign names, I have the ASIN of the products that I'm doing. For every listing, I have one campaign. I'm not mixing up different listings. So here I'm gonna clear and say, just show me the ASIN one, right? We have some other campaigns that doesn't have that ASIN. I just added the related for one product to the campaign just to show you how I'm doing it. So I always have an identifier to show me that these campaigns are related to this product, and now I want to do the search term report analysis. You filter everything now you see here is related to that listing. Easy. Now you can either work here, or sometimes I copy this, the whole thing. The way I do it is I'm like, okay, let's copy this and take it to another table. The reason is that I want to put this table as my reference. So paste, just keep this in mind, paste as a value. You can't, if you just paste it, it's going to bring the same pivot table here. So I paste this as value. The reason I don't work here, because it's, in pivot table, it is kind of sometimes difficult to sort, right? I have to, come on. If you see, it's not easy to sort every time. You have to just go to this row. The filtration is kind of pain. What I do personally is that I create the pivot table for the whole search terms, and I choose the campaigns to the product that I want. I copy here, for instance, as you saw, I copied here, seems like. So I'm gonna put this one, ASIN 1, right? This is all the search term for ASIN 1. Then I'll go for another listing. I filter them and I took copy as a value to another table to start working them. It is easier for me just right away do every filtration and anything I want here instead of working with pivot table for analysis. So here, what would happen that I do this filtering, and there you go. You could filter anything you want, add any sorting, any filtration, and you are not limited to what pivot table gives you. But it's very important to create this pivot table to do the analysis and understand your main driver of sales, right? You see what are the driver of sales, you see performance as a whole, and also you have to kind of cross-section here with your targeting and see if these terms, if they are performing good, are you targeting them in exact or not? If you are not targeting, you have to go target. I'll have in the future a template that you just put your search term report and it will give you everything that you need, even if they are targeted or not. The reason I couldn't create here, I told you, was because of the reason I changed the real terms. Hopefully it was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions.